so it's still very, very warm, so it will be drying pretty quickly, but it's definitely into the final corner. You can really see all down sort of the side of the track under the advertising hoarding into that final corner and then onto the main straight. Definitely still pretty damp.
Just starting to bunch up a little bit, isn't it? Denise set the fastest lap before the other rider there, Fuetizara, set the fastest lap. Fuetizara, sorry. The Thai rider, of course, hoping to get onto a home Grand Prix podium in front of the home fans. There's a few of them who flocked in early doors to see the second race of the Asia Talent Cup. Fatama then setting the fastest lap of 1:53.2, so the times are tumbling, which is to be expected, and the gap at the front is closing down. You can see Thompson and Mie did have a little bit of a gap to play with, but Denise has dragged Fatama with him. Fatama setting the fastest lap of the race there, and they're pretty much now with two leaders.
Yeah, you can now see this lead group is more of a quintet rather than a duo, and then a little bit bigger gap back to, I think it's Lone Cleo at the front of the second group now then. So Adaki, after heading a little bit wide here, one lap ago, has just lost a little bit of ground, the Japanese rookie, so he'll want to, and he's fighting it out with Azawa as well, so there we go. I was going to say, he'll want to stay ahead of his compatriot. He's looking for, some bigger points on Sunday, but they're in their own little battle then in that second group at the moment, with a home hero at the head of it, no less.
Fatama up to second then into turn 4, one of the fastest corners, if not the fastest, on the circuit. Azawa making steady but good progress in the early stage after dropping down to 10th place. He's back up into 8th place.
That camera angle gave me a small heart attack there. But no harm done then, but Denise then is now down into 4th place. So, what are we going to get a replay of?
Looks like
someone's heading into the pits, yes. Not sure. Okay, it's Hamad Al Sahuti then. So it's a Qatari rider, the number 23, taking a big step forward this year, been on the podium a few times, but a bit of a luckless Sunday then. Not sure what's happened to him, but hopefully nothing too dramatic, and just sadly one of those things, and they'll be back out again at Sepang. Well then, this front group, you can see now it's kind of a freight train. There's not too big a gap anywhere. Well, we've got so many bikes in that lead group punching that hole in the air, and it's Lone Cleo who's just trying to get back on terms with those 5 ahead of him now, because Puerto has made some really good progress. The number 20 there in the middle of the screen, and he's pretty much with the 4 guys who fought it out for the podium yesterday now, is the Thai rider. So definitely a lot on the line on home turf.
Certainly is. Fatama a good half a second faster than anyone else on circuit. Fuetizara was also in the 1:53s, so was Lone Cleo, but that's about it in the top group. Carlos Thompson also in the 1:53s, about 1:53.9, so a good half a second down on Fatama's pace. So Fatama showing really, really good speeds in these early stages. He's now got to the front. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. Will he try and clear off? But they've got to box clever here, because there's a long way to go, 12 laps to go on a drying track on wet tyres that aren't going to get any grippier. So this is going to be interesting now for Thomas at the front, see what he can do.
And you can see there's a lot of riders in the postcode right behind this leading group. So if they do hold each other up, it's going to immediately be a really, really big gaggle right on their tail. So, let's see. We've still got 11 and a bit to go, so we've got plenty time here. It's only drying out at the moment. We've had no further rain. We've not seen any rain flags to tell us otherwise either. And from where we're sat as well, the condensation's getting better, which is proof in itself. So, this is going to... I don't know, what are we going to see at the end of this race? With wet tyres, the same guys at the moment are the fastest on track, but in 10 laps time, who's going to have that grip left to be able to fight this out for the podium?
Very good question, the million-dollar question. We're not sure at this stage. It all came down to turn 12 yesterday, Hack and Denise there in the lead group like he was yesterday, but I feel like at this stage of the race, the riders probably want a little bit of rain just to make their lives a little bit easier. Of course, the front straight is still a little bit damp. There's no spray coming off the surface anymore, so it can't be that wet, and they're just going to be losing grip constantly and fighting to stay on the bike, really, as the number 14 of Adaki runs wide there at turn 1, the Japanese rider.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are on wets on a drying track, you want more rain as soon as possible, and then past a certain point you want no more rain. We'll see what happens then. We're holding strong for the moment, but like you said, Adaki ran wide again there a little bit, so he'll need to watch watch that because he will start to get track limits warnings, as we saw come up for Tanat Longplio, the Thai rider, who's now just a little bit off the front of that second group. But yeah, if you go over onto the green a few too many times, you will get a track limits warning, and eventually you may get a long lap penalty, or the equivalent time, of course. So back at the front then, I thought we were starting to see Pratama just stretch away in the lead, especially last time they came past us and our commentary position. The number 7 had a little bit of time in hand, and he is quite a light rider, so he doesn't lose out too much on the straight compared to others. But no, they are right back on him and looking pretty eager to get past as well. It's Gunmie then who's looking for a way through on the Indonesian at the moment, and then yeah, our usual suspects from race 1, but now joined by Puetisan looking for that home glory.
Azawa now leading the chase, 1.6 seconds out on this lead group. He's got them in his sights, but 1.6 seconds in these sort of conditions is a long way to bridge, and he's got company in the form of Rizwanto there. He's going up the insides at the final corner. Thought a little bit better of it as Gunmie then retakes the lead from Pratama. So we're not seeing Pratama stretch away. I think they probably realised that there's no point pushing in these early stages or pushing too much to try and break clear, because you're going to have no tie left at the end of the race, especially if it doesn't rain. And if it does rain, if we do get a bit of wet weather sprinkling, then you want some tyre left at the end of the race so you can push.
Yeah, you definitely do. So I don't know. They're all looking like it's the penultimate lap already, aren't they, at the moment? But Gunmie then decided to take that race lead back. Thompson now following him through as well. Danish though going for what's that, 3-in-1? What a move then from the Malaysian, and he does get it done as well. Not too dramatic either. So really nice stuff from the number 13 to take back the lead, and Thompson a bit wide there, bit of extra dirt track practice, but all okay for number 6 and slots back into the group. So Danish then, does he decide he's got what it takes to push at the front and break away? If he does think that, already the best laid plans have gone awry slightly.
Yeah, and all this to-ing and fro-ing is allowing the riders behind Azawa to catch up. I think he's closed in about half a second in the last lap or so. So this is music to the ears, lighting up the eyes of Azawa, the number 20 Ron rider, because he needs a good result here to claw back the deficit he's lost to Hakim Danish. 11 points now he falls behind Hakim Danish in the overall standings, and we saw a few laps ago Hamed Al Saouti have to exit or enter pit lane, sorry, with a flat tyre. He was third in the overall standing, so that's a disaster for the Qatari rider.
Yeah, it is indeed. It could be an expensive day in the championship standings for Hamed Al Saouti, but let's wait and see, because anything can still happen. And he does have a few points in hand over Gunmie and then Ayman Adaki, and then there's a bigger gap back to Pratama, who obviously missed his home round at Mandalika through injury as well, so he's also had his place in the championship dented a little bit by some bad luck. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this is, because we now have, I would say, a freight train rather than 2 groups.
Absolutely, yeah. A few fastest laps coming in. The best of them for Dia there, just popping off the screen, a 1:53.1. The only riders in the front group that were in the 1:53s were Mie and Pratama, and they were 1:53.9. So best part of the second clawed back then for the riders just behind. Azawa in that group, we've mentioned him plenty of times this race. He is second in the overall standings and now has his main rival Danish right in front of him there.
Yeah, exactly. So you saw, I think that was Puetisan going off a little bit wide there, but no harm done for the number 20 and back in the group. But shout out to Rekat Fadilla, actually, one of a few riders who scored in every race. From what I'm looking at, I can only see that there's 4 of them, and the other 3 were the top 3 in the standings. So now Hamed Al Saouti is going to lose that honour for sure, so it might be one of only 3 to have taken some good points in each race so far this year, the Indonesian. So some good stuff from him. 9 laps to go. There's still so much we don't know about how this is going to go down. If it was in the drive, like, okay, we're going to have this big group fight, then maybe in the last few laps, you know, a few guys who showed their pace yesterday might just have that edge, but we still have no idea what's going to happen. And Veda Ega Pratama definitely extremely keen to make sure that he is in the driving seat at the moment, then really pushing on. And you can see that gap nearly half a second ahead of Mie and Thompson now.
Top through the title chase there in your picture. Ozawa has lapsed himself onto the back of Denise. Thought about a move at the final corner, but with 8 laps to go, there's plenty of time left to make a move in this race. As Pratama then, wow, 152.5. He really has got the hammer down as the number 7, the first 152 of the race, and it's a mid 157 as well. No one else in that lead group was in the 152s. 153.3 for Gunmie, 153.1 for Carter Thompson. Ozawa was the next quickest at 153.0, so Pratama half a second a lap faster than anyone else at this stage, and you can see that by the gap he's put.
Yeah, he really has, hasn't he, the number 7. Also, I love the fact the second time around there you said a 157. Yeah. No, that was really good stuff from the number 7 then. You can see exactly where it came from. The Indonesian looking pretty comfortable as well. It doesn't look like it's, there's not too many risks, no wobbles. We've not seen any moments from him at all. And that gap then just growing at the moment. And it's Thompson and Mie on the chase. And it's the Australian in second at the moment. And then another classic group battle. Wow, Ozawa looked really eager to try that, didn't he? And I think Denise is a little bit wide through there as well. But the number 21 then homing in on his prey and his key rival in the standings as it stands.
We've got a good old-fashioned seat tap from Ozawa there when he just got ahead of Denise, but Denise, using the slipstream, just pulled straight past, not listening to his main title rival. You can understand that as well. We see it so often in the talent cups and in the lower class, don't we? Sort of stick behind me, mate, I've got some pace, but it's never really
I don't remember anyone ever really. The only time I remember people doing that, and it wasn't even from a seat tap, it was just like a wise decision, was following Pedro Acosta from the pit lane in Doha. When it was just like, okay, fair enough, like anyone who can stay with him, let's go. Quite an obvious kind of leader of the pack on that comeback mission there. But yeah, it's always fun to see the optimism though, even if it never quite pays off. But at the moment though, it's really paying off, this push for Vena Ega Pratama in the lead. It's now well over a second, and the Indonesian looking comfortable, like we said as well. It doesn't really look like he's pushing visually. It's just those lap times keep coming in and that gap keeps growing. But Thompson did put in the fastest lap that time around. It was just a tenth of a second faster than Pratama, but that's enough if he does it a few times to start to get back on terms with the Indonesian. But we'll have to see as well what Gunmie does. If he doesn't think he can go with Thompson, maybe he'll try and get past him, hold him up, and make sure he can at least fight for second.
Another seat tap then from Ozawa, but using the slipstream.
Immediately
ignored. Just pulled straight out and overtaken him, and he's going to lose 2 in 1 there, is Ozawa. So yeah, the seat tap not really working for him. You can understand why, because you can see, well, especially for Tama, pulling clear. He's already pulled in nearly 2/10 of a second.
Yeah, he's really going, isn't he? It's really going. The hammer is down, and as we saw then on your screens as well, we've got a long lap penalty due to exceeding track limits, which I also did there and hit the desk. And the tie rider, unfortunately, then that's going to be frustrating on home turf, but still some good pace and a good race from the number 11. But now in 9th place then, and off this group, we'll have to see where he'll come back out on track once he's done that long lap.
A few of the riders there running onto the green paint. You don't want to be doing that all too often, because you are going to get a track limit this morning. If you do it too much, we've seen it.
Exactly that. Yeah, that long lap penalty may come your way.
The long lap penalty loop incident is on the outside of turn 5. So we'll obviously keep you updated on that. If we get any track limits warnings, they'll pop up on our time screens and we will let you know. So yeah, the Pratama then sets another fastest lap of the race, 151.7. It extends his lead to 1.8 seconds now over Carter Thompson. So he really has put the hammer down as Pratama, but with 6 laps to go, has he gone too early? We're going to find out very soon.
I think we are going to find out very soon. I'm not sure, you know. I think another 5 after this one, that's not too much to ask. We'll have to see, because as well, he's been in a similar postcode throughout this race as the 2 riders chasing him down as well. Thompson and Mie may not have been pushing on at the front for the last couple of laps, but they've all been around each other on track, pulling similar moves, so you'd expect maybe to find themselves in similar situations as we head into the last few laps. I think this is just going to be a pretty replay.
Down into the final corner, hard on the anchors, turn 12. We'll be hoping he's got a clean run into there in a few laps' time, will Pratama. So we are getting some track limits warning from Fuetizan, the number 20. Has got the track limits warning. He's in the second group, down in 8th place at this moment in time.
That's a nice end to that slow-mo, wasn't it? Just lovely stuff then from the number 7. And you can see now it's really, really pulled out that gap out the front. And then this group then fighting it out for what is now, 4th place with Hakim Danish in it as well. So potentially a real chance for those ahead to capitalise a little bit as the Malaysian, I think, hit the green there as well. So he'll have to be careful as well. But yeah, it looks like then our points leader may end this race off the podium. And like Elliot said a couple of minutes ago, it's Fuetizan who's the next to get a track limits warning, and another home hero. So need to be careful, keep it within the track limits so he doesn't get a long lap penalty, because at the moment there's plenty to play for here and place in the top 4.
Just going to see the gap over the line between Gun Mie in 3rd place and Hakim Danish in 4th place. It's 2.5 seconds and it is growing. They lost over a second there to Gun Mie. Gun Mie 152.3, just slightly quicker than Carter Thompson. Incidentally, Fatama still in the 151, so Fatama really has superior pace at this stage of the race. But this group here, obviously with all the battling they're doing, lost over a second that time around. So the podium hopes for these guys are quickly fading. And yeah, the main thing for now is Azara and Danish, obviously the number 21 and 13, top 2 in the championship. This is the battle.
It is indeed. So yeah, plenty at stake for these guys then. At least Azawa, if he's not going to be able to get back on the podium, excuse me, he's definitely going to want to end this race ahead of Hakim Danish. As we said, it's 11 points at the moment. Azawa went into race 1 with the lead and then relinquished that after a tougher time on Saturday and some avoiding action early on as well that dented his place on track. But the number 21 not quite had the pace of a few of those just ahead this weekend at Buriram. But we do still have a few races to go, so all is far from lost. And he's a rookie as well, we should also point out, which is impressive in itself, him and Ayman Adaki, the debuts they've made this season. But these guys then, hopefully no Motegi memories coming back in this battle. But Gun Mie then has struck and taken over in 2nd place. I don't think, I mean, unless, I think Pratama's racing himself now, to be honest. Yeah. Unless there's something like rain or some really big drama or he makes his own mistake, I really don't think there's anything this duo can do about it now, because it really is significant. It's like you get enough just dip in the sound as he's gone past the finish line before anyone else appears. It's really quite a significant gap then. Really impressive stuff from the number 7 in the race lead. And you can see there the graphic briefly on screen of that lap comparison. He's still putting them in, those 151s. And it's not 151.9s either, it's 151.6, 151.7. It's a really significant difference. So good stuff from him. I think these guys then maybe have decided this is a duel for 2nd place.
Yeah, outstanding pace up front from Pratama. He'll have seen his pit board, or hopefully seen his pit board anyway, and the team giving him at least sort of 3.5 seconds advantage. So now with 4 laps to go, he can hopefully just drop the pace a little bit, settle down and try and preserve some time, because still going to be interesting to see how much tyre they do lose, but he's built up such a gap now that I don't think it's really going to matter, because they're all in a similar situation now towards the end of this race. Pratama just pulled the pin. 4 seconds now, the gap up front to the chasing duo of Mie and Carter Thompson. This is going to go right down to the wire, I think, between these two. Both, well, Mie stood on the podium yesterday, so he'll be wanting to stand on the podium again. But
Thompson wants that, yeah, he wants his podium in the ATC. He's had the pace for one so many times, and then a bit of bad luck, bit of trouble, and just not quite paid off for the number 6. So let's see, is today the day? But yeah, it's now, like you said, 4 seconds. That's over a second a lap now that Pratama can afford to lose, even if it's, yeah, some absolute cliff that he hits with the rubber in these late stages. I really don't think there's anything that they can do about it. So the number 7 then trying to cruise home to victory. Can he get it done? And who is going to come out on top in this battle? You can see at the moment there's no change at the final corner with Mie and Thompson, but these guys still line astern. But Azawa He's had the lead of this little group for a few corners now and just has a little bit of daylight. What can Dinesh do about it?
He's took the lead a few times down at turn 3, hasn't he, Ozawa? And then the guys behind, including Dinesh, has been able to just use the slipstream and get back ahead of him straight away. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can try and break the slipstream slightly. Of course, that's what he's trying to do by pulling over to the right-hand side of the track. But it's Dinesh's title rival tucked up right behind him. So what's going to happen down into turn 3? Here's Eamon Adaki then.
Something's happened there then.
Yeah, he's dropped right down to P14. We saw him run wide at turn 1 a few laps ago, didn't we?
We did. We
he's
missed out on something on a Daki watch. So we'll see. I don't know if our lovely TV people have a replay at some point. But yeah, so it's an expensive weekend in the standings then for the number 14, the other Japanese rookie who came out guns blazing in Qatar. Oh yeah, that's pretty. I spoke too soon then, as we're not able to quite break away from these guys, and it's Dinesh who hits back then, the number 13, like we said, our championship leader as it stands. So good stuff from him to do that damage control and try and take that 4th place at least, as the podium has gone with the escape of Pratama and the Thompson versus Mie duel. So Lone Cleo then. He had a track limits warning, and he's got now a long lap penalty. Am I going crazy, or has he got a second one? Yes, he's got a second one, I think. So we'll have to see then if the Thai rider sees that in time as well and is able to take that.
The interesting
flashback moment. I was like, yes, there's 2 on the timing screen.
The interesting thing in this group, Fran, is that you can either finish 4th, which is not a bad result for Ozawa or any of the riders, but in terms of the title chase is what I'm talking about. Ozawa or Dinesh finishing 4th isn't a bad job considering the race that they're having, but you could also, if something goes wrong, you can finish down in 8th or even worse, especially in that group. So there's plenty of points on offer there.
There's a big difference between 4th and 8th, isn't there? So we will have to see who is able to get the job done and do some damage control then, because both Ozawa and Dinesh are definitely going to be in damage control mode to an extent now, because Pratama then, wow, it's only 6 seconds now. He's absolutely checked out. Ciao for now. I will see you at Sepang. I'm going to head there a little bit early. But great stuff from the number 7 then. Really, really impressive performance from him. And then we still have that Thompson-Mie duel going strong. And then this group, I think, is where we're going to get those final lap, maybe even final corner fireworks on Sunday.
I think so, yeah. Just looking at Pratama's last lap time, he is still in the 159s. A 150, the 151s. I'll get it right eventually. The 151s. 151.9, there you can see there, just as we're speaking about it, over 1 second faster than anyone else. Carter Thompson and Mie in the 153 zeros, and no one else really close to that pace, at least half a second off these 2 riders. So Pratama just excelling in these conditions. A really, really great display of riding here from your race leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Really impressive stuff from Pratama then. And yeah, we're getting into the real crunch time in Thailand, aren't we? Was that you who came up with that one yesterday? Yeah, we're really getting closer to the decider, and there's this duel. Let's see what happens here. Final corner fireworks, maybe. And then that group, like you said, between 4th and 8th, there is a big difference for the likes of Ozawa and Dinesh, who are also at the rear of that group as well now on the timing screen. So what have they got? And we're on to the last lap for this duel first then. Who is going to come out on top? Is it going to be the number 6 of Carter Thompson, the number 5 of Gun Mie? And then look how close they are in that group behind as well. No move from Mie so far though.
An intriguing final lap coming up, and we were speaking about dropping down to the rear of this group. Dinesh and Ozawa now are 7th and 8th. Ozawa having the upper hand up to this moment in time, but obviously slipstream coming into full effect from turn 1 through the turn 2 kink down into turn 3. Ozawa shaping up for a move. The number 21 rider, I don't think Dinesh is close enough to make a move down into turn 3, but Ozawa's going to take 3 and 1 by the looks of things. Fantastic move. Is he going to take 3 and 1? I think he is. Ozawa there.
Incredible stuff then. Ozawa knows he needs that 4th position, and now the pressure is on. It's the final lap, last chance to get that job done, and he has taken back the lead off that group. But I wouldn't be surprised if it changes again here down into the next braking zone. And at the moment then, in the duel just ahead, you can see the number 6 of Carter Thompson is still ahead there, and Ozawa then able to hold on at the front of this gaggle for now then. What can the number 21 want do in the next few corners because they're really under attack now.
Oh, what a save!
What a save! Incredible stuff then. Needed to save it as well as that Fadilla, I think, who pulled that off. Really impressive stuff then. It's not going to be the front of this group then for Raycat Fadilla, but still it's going to be some good points after that. And that will be interesting in a couple of minutes because Carter Thompson was on the green there. The number 6 just a little bit wide, and it's on the last lap. Remember, that is when it can be so vital to show you've lost out, and he definitely did not. Mie, though, looks like he's going to try and take it regardless. They're coming down into the final corner, and I think we can see Gunmie has gone for it. Who is going to come out on top on the drag to the line? It's going to be Carter Thompson, I think, but we're going to see what happens afterwards with that green on the last lap. And this group then, Ezawa does hold on. Is he angry? Is he happy? Not quite sure. Ezawa taking that 4th place ahead of Poitiers Rizwanto, and Denise shuffled down to the back of that little group then in the end with Fadilla pulling off that stunning save. Lacan, some good points for the Thai rider there, and Trihadika completing the top 10.
Catch a little bit of breath.
Catch a little bit of breath.
What a performance.
What a performance.
Yeah, absolutely sensational to win by just over 7 seconds.
That gap kept going up as well. That's my favourite thing. Like on the last 2 laps, it's like, no, I'll keep going. I'm not gonna slack off and just enjoy it.
I wrongly thought that he might have slowed down after seeing his gap on the timing screen. Obviously, once you're in a race rhythm and feeling comfortable, what's the point in slowing down? But yeah, absolutely sensational stuff to win in those circumstances. Obviously, everyone riding the same bikes here, so it's not like he's got a pace advantage in any way, shape or form. Just absolutely nailed it in the second half of that race to win by over 7 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely, really did. A tactical masterclass then of when to push and keep it going from the number 7, as well as a good dose of talent to pull that gap out to 7 seconds. Really impressive stuff from him. I'm sure feels a lot happier with that and a lot happier with the year so far as we leave Buriram to head for Sepang, because it's such frustration when he had to miss out on the 2 races on home turf through injury, and then of course we have such a long break before we get back in action at Motegi, and it was 1 race, and yet we saw it at the time, and it is, there's no argument there, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Clearly did put both wheels onto the green paint. So I think we're going to see
some
a little
part
switcheroo.
Tango here, and possibly an angry Australian.
Potentially, but he's still on the podium, is he? So it's still a very good result for Carter Thompson.
Is that the attitude that brings you to success, though?
Well, no, but
you know how brutal I am. Yeah, it is still finally that podium, which hopefully he will still enjoy and will still taste pretty sweet once potentially he's told, sorry, you did hit that green. But yeah, sorry, just being rude for no reason.
Podium is a podium at the end of the day, so yeah, I know what you're saying. He will be obviously disappointed not to finish second because he is a racer and will want to finish as high as possible. But yeah, stand on the podium here in Thailand, a great result then for Carter Thompson. Gunmie will obviously finish in second place, as we've just been mentioning. Patama on the top step of the podium, and Nazawa's 4th place ran really important in terms of the championship.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? So between 4th and then Danish in 7th then, that's closed up again. And I'm sure if you told Shinya Izawa after a difficult qualifying and an even more difficult race 1 that he'll actually close in quite significantly on Sunday, I think he'd be pretty happy with that. So yeah, there you go then. Sorry, rules is rules. We saw it, and it was definitely clear enough for us to see. With the, I don't know what the word is, naked eye, it's not quite. We do have excellent team.
Real pressure shot.